Well, I picked this up at the local thrift store for $2. I think these are still available for around 20-ish. Um, it's brand new. So either the person who bought it realized they couldn't really install it since they need a AC source fairly close to it, or somebody gave this to their significant other saying, hey, maybe this will help you park. And then they had a very frosty time after that. Don't know. I'm going to take it apart though. Would I ever install one of these? No. If I wanted a little laser dot, they show it on the hood, but actually you're going to have to aim at the dashboard because most cars now, you have a hard time actually seeing the hood. They're aerodynamic. Now, of course, you could spend 20 cents, though there would be a minimum order, buy a laser diode, stick a resistor here, and attach it to any dumb wall wart. The other alternative, you spend $2, buy this, take it apart, install a resistor into it, and attach it to another dumb wall wart. But I've got this. So no matter what, I do get a dumb wall wart. Oh well. So let's take it out of the package. Another alternative to this would just be to simply put a hook in the ceiling, hang a string from it down to something like a tennis ball that the person is supposed to line up on, and when it touches the windshield, stop. But that would involve any electronics, so that's a bad idea. That's what I would actually probably do. The alternative would be to attach something to the wall so that the person just looks to the side when they hit the appropriate point, and not the stuff at the front of the vehicle, of course. Okay, so here we have it. We got the passive infrared sensor here. We got a laser here. It says you can install batteries, but not for actual usage, just as backup. For regular usage, you're going to have the power adapter plugged into an AC socket. And it is a AC to DC adapter, commonly called a wall wart. Output is 8 volts, 300 milliamps. Made in China. Actually got a bit of weight to it. Wonder if they filled it with sand. Here we have, you can hook up the auxiliary battery. Actually, I think I'll do that first. So I've got one here. It's not 9 volts, it's 7.99. Let's see if it'll work on a diminished battery. Come on, get in there. Good. This is just to see if it works. Oh, on. Let's see how long it takes before the sensor turns it off. I'll obviously fast forward this part. Had to reset it since I thought I might be moving a bit and can't keep tripping the sensor. So we'll see how long before it times out. Now this would be a timeout on the if you just turn it on. Then I'll try it with some motion. Okay, 1 minute and 20 seconds. Oh, 140. Okay, maybe it's just needed to stabilize. So now I'm gonna, well, it picked up my hand pretty quick. And that was at 205. 235 it turned off, then it turned right back on, and there's no way that sensor should be able to see me. So it looks like about 15 seconds to 30 seconds. So let's yank the battery out of this and take it apart. Guess I should have turned it off first. Oh, now I did. Clean away the debris. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wonder if they got anything hidden behind this one. Nope. So you'd mount this to the ceiling and then just clip this into it. Let's see. 1. 2. Hey. It's coming out way too easy. It's a trap. It's a trap. Okay. 3. And 4. So, oh, this is a trap. Way too easy. Okay, I'm going to adjust the camera. Well, construction's a bit Mickey Mouse. Okay, they used hot glue in there. Hot glue there, there. They put some on these ones too. I'd have no objections of hot glue. They might have wanted to try to clean this up a tiny bit. That is pretty filthy. And, okay, hot glue to hold there. Guess they had a good shipment of hot glue. Let's pop out the board. Oh, okay, here's the 2 wires going to the laser. Red's over here, ground's over here. Power in here or here. And coming through. Okay, let's just see what's inside here. There's one. And number 2. I just heard the hummingbird come up to the feeder. Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to take a moment and clean the board. Well, it was hard to see on the dirty board, but after I cleaned it, I spotted the slight quality control issue. Pause it for a moment and take a look and see if you can see it and put in the comments. And then I'll start back up and I'll point it out. Oh, and the chip to the left there is LP8072. So I've given you enough warning to pause. So when they were snipping leads, and it looks like this board was hand populated, you can see the little piece of a lead sitting in there, wedged between that resistor, the capacitor, and it was there before I cleaned it. It's very hard to see, but it was definitely there. So, let's get on with it. There's the LP8072, and I'll put the specs over to the side there. It is a passive infrared control type chip. So, the other components, resistors, capacitors, the ones that are hard to figure out. The sensor, passive infrared. And then we have a 78L05 to set up the 5 voltage for all of this. And then we have a transistor 9013, which is an NPN. Down here, I've done the schematic for it. It actually wasn't that bad since the board was pretty easy to look at. There's my first view of it. there's my second view. And here's the final. When you look at the power, they've got the jack here. So if you've got it plugged into the wall wart, it actually breaks the connection to the black wire. But if you don't have it plugged in to the wall wart, then it's directly through, and hence the battery's powering everything. So we go up here with power. We hit the 78L05, straightforward, 5 volts out. We've got our smoothing capacitors here, one electrolytic and one ceramic. Then we get further over, and we have the laser. There's a 68 ohm resistor in series with it, coming down to the 9013, which is an NPN. So this is going to determine if it's turned on or off. It's using a 51 or 5.1K resistor, then comes over to what's actually controlling it, the LP8072. So when this says turn it on, it turns it on. And pin 11 is called relay. So relay or transistor. They also have it set up for a triac, but that's not being used. This part down here, you need to read the specs on it, but that I believe is controlling a tiny bit of if the signal comes in, how often to determine if it re-triggers and turns the laser back on. This is strictly for timing, and by setting these resistors, you determine how long it's on and how long it's delayed, all of that. Going out to the sensor, the passive infrared, we have the reference voltage. So it's powering this, and then when it detects something, it transmits it back through here. I think it said in op for the op amp first stage. This is the little black magic of it all. Then down to here, you got power in. So that's it. I would personally just use a tennis ball and a string, and once the person's figured out not to go past that point and run over expensive tools, then you can always remove it. Well, have a good one. Bye.